Everything you see here is strictly informational. Forex is a high-risk business. Please do not place trades with more money than what you don't have. Please do not trade other people's money. Do not borrow any money than what you cannot trade with. And please take everything that I say as a personal opinion. I am not considered a financial advisor. I'm not considered a broker. I am just one here simply recording my journey along learning the markets. What's up? What's up? Welcome to my little thing I call Bodies and Wicks. And if you haven't caught my last videos, I've been doing some on a strategy that I've been doing called the double RSI strategy. Been working out very, very well. Pulled in some pips on some crypto this weekend. Not a lot of money, just because it was a trial, and playing with my own money, trying out a new strategy is definitely probably something you shouldn't do. You should probably use paper trading or something else to that effect. But I definitely tried my own money with a very, very low lot size, and grew my account by a mere $5, but hey, $5 is better than nothing. So if you want to check that out, I did it on XRP. But today, right now, what I'm going to go over is weekly outlooks on some indices, and hopefully I'll put out some more on some Forex and some crypto later. I'm going to start getting more into crypto, but right now we're going to do some stuff on the S&P and the Nasdaq. First and foremost, if you like my stuff and you want to continue to hear more, there is a subscribe button that you can hit, and or you can like the video, you can share the video, let people know that I'm out here trying to help people understand the markets and see how it plays off in your trading. Again, I'm an MT4 trader. I use MetaTrader 4. If you don't know what that is, download the app. Use a fake broker, use whatever you can to start trading. They give you, fake money and stuff if you want to start learning. But that's how I started learning, and I just continued to go from there. And you can, trade things like the S&P, and you can trade things like the Nasdaq. You don't have to buy into it specifically. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. Back on track now. Anyways, let's head on over to the charts. Give me 1 second here. So I do want to just kind of go back in time a little bit and show you the S&P from a monthly standpoint. As you can see, this is what, especially from smart money traders, I've seen this called, geez, I can't even think of the word now. I guess you could say a diverging accumulation period, or a broadening accumulation period, to where it is an accumulation period, but it's kind of a different one to the one that doesn't go sideways. But it's almost as if we're about ready to break out of that, because as you can see, if you got this trend line is here, we're just at the very top of that trend line, so we could be breaking out of this accumulation period very soon. We go to the weekly, you see the same thing. This is, well, first we go back to the monthly, the 5th straight month. We're about to end the month, coming up soon, 5th straight month that we've had with gains, and with the weeks it is almost the same. We've had just multiple weeks of gains, hardly any pullbacks whatsoever. And same thing if we were to go to the daily. I mean, especially all last week. So all last week was just, a gain every day. I think it was, well, since the 20th even. So if we go to the 4-hour, we can see we did have a little bit of a pullback, from the 11th, I want to say, the 11th through about the 20th, 21st. And then from the beginning of last week, it was just all up there, all uphill from there. So if you watched my video from last week, I was kind of predicting that we would see more of the same, continuation of going sideways before going forward. I did not expect such a jump. And I said Apple would probably be carrying the weight. Well, I didn't expect so many people probably to be jumping into Apple, and probably carrying this index, before the split, because the split will be, I think, tomorrow after the day is over, after the trading day is over, if I'm not mistaken. So if we have this multi-month trend line, broadening trend line here, it's right here, right? So this is where this orange line is, and I have this here, this 35-30 level to watch, because I have a feeling probably at the very beginning of the week we're gonna see this shoot up, right, and probably hit this 35 level, maybe even get higher. But I think this is probably going to be the resistance point, a new resistance point, before we see the Apple stock split. We see the Apple stock split, we see the price fall, and then we'll probably see, a little bit of a rejection from that area, and then probably a bounce back from some kind of support area. What support area? It may create a new one. It may be the one that it's at now, because you can see it did go kind of sideways the last day. It may even jump down to this support area down here. I don't know. So here's a new one. It could be down to 34.67, or it could be, just a little bit above that to the support area here. Should be around the 34.90 area, but I'm definitely going to be watching the 35.30 area to see how it reacts off of that before I make any moves, and also to see what's going to happen in between now and then. But I'm expecting probably something to be just, a complete, shoot up. We might even open today in a gap. And if that's the case, then yeah, I would definitely be watching this 35.30 area. Who knows, we may shoot right over it, and then that might be the new support level, and we might just keep going. Now, this blue line I have here, this is actually the channel line from multiple weeks ago, going all the way back to the end of July, right? From that touch these two. Or actually, I think it was this one and this one. If I touch the bottom of those two trend lines, I just let it continue, and we're still on the backside of that. So it's almost like that channel that we were in a couple weeks ago that was going up this way. We sidestepped it, and now we're in almost in another parallel channel, and moving in the same direction. So again, I would watch this 35.30 level. That would be the level to watch for a pullback, and then probably pull the trigger. I would say, we're not going to see, think we're going to see anything slow down. The only thing I could possibly be worried about would be, the Jackson Hole Symposium. They were talking about everything, how they see the economy in the long run. Dollar could weaken. Who knows? This week could be a really, really odd week. Just because of what happened at the end of the week last week, because we saw all those spikes in the different forex markets and things like that. Same thing happened with the equities as well, especially the S&P. So if we want to drill in a little bit closer, let's go to the 1 hour chart. We can kind of see what happened with the Jackson Hole Symposium. It was right here during August 27th. You could see it get up. Even though it hit this trend line, it dropped, and it dropped hard, but it dropped to a support level. So, to be honest, I wish I would have jumped in there. I actually didn't play the S&P that much this week. I was trying to play more gold, and I didn't have much luck. But I did play it a couple times, and this was this was one of them, if I'm not mistaken, because I was using my new RSI. My new RSI strategy, and it was, I don't know, I explained it in live. Yeah, it was this one right here. It was this one on the 27th, waiting for it to get down to close to being oversold. There's a difference between about 6 or more, 8 or more. Pull the trigger if it gets near support area, also crossing one of the MAs, at least the 50 MA, if not the 200. I don't even have the 200 in here. Let me add that in. Moving average. Sorry guys, give me just 1 second while I add in a 200 MA. Yeah, so that's what it did across both the MAs. Got into a support line, got about to be oversold. RSI 1629. Difference between the two about 6 or more. I like around 7 or more. It got to be around 9. I pull the trigger, and then I wait for the opposite to happen, right? To be oversold and about to 6 or more, and then I got out there. So that was my strategy that I used, and it worked out. So I'll probably be looking to use that more, and I want to see what happens, especially moving forward. Right now it's on the 5-minute chart, but I'll definitely need to set my alarm here. So I usually set it around 31, so I know it's getting close to oversold. Add alert for that RSI, and that way it lets me know on the 5-minute. It gives me a nice pullback, so I can see if I'm gonna be able to jump in or not. But on this hourly chart here, I do want to see how this is gonna play out, how this is gonna move forward. You know, I would expect something, especially at the very beginning, probably just to head right toward that area, right, and then maybe a little bounce back to this support, probably move up. We're probably gonna fight around here a little bit, and then eventually I think we're probably going to move up above it, come back down, and then continue on. I think we're probably going to be hugging this line, especially I think the Apple price will probably give it that big drop. It's not a huge part of the index, but it's enough that I think that will have some kind of effect on it. And then we'll just have to see how it plays out to the rest of the week. But yeah, and also with Nasdaq, same thing. Let's go check out the Nasdaq over here. So, you know, with the multi-month trend line, there really isn't one with Nasdaq. I mean, it's just your weekly, daily, whatever you want to look at with Nasdaq. It's just perpetual growth is what it looks like right now. It's kind of crazy. So again, you know, 5th straight month in a row. Weekly, pretty much the same. You know, we've been going just continuously. The only difference between the Nasdaq and the S&P, especially once we get to the 4-hour, is that the pullbacks were a little bit time different. You know, the S&P pullback was from like the 11th through the 20th. Nasdaq's was just before that. It was, you know, 6 through about the, you know, the 11th, and then after the 11th is when it decided to move forward again. So it was about a week behind. However, they're both at, well, I wouldn't say, I think now Nasdaq is at a resistance level. And I think it probably will be, especially with you know, Apple coming in. So if we want to throw in a what I want to do is I'm going to throw this on top of it. So you can kind of see, because this is part of the index, right? And you can see how it kind of grows along with the index. So when I compare it to Apple, it kind of, you know, moved along with it, especially within the last week or two, or last week for sure, last couple of days. And I don't know if we're, you know, if it's going to break that support level, or sorry, it's the resistance level. It could, but then you know, I would expect, you know, a pullback, because what happened with Apple, especially at the end of the day on Friday, it was actually really strange because I was watching it. It jumped up really quick within the last like 30 minutes, and then it fell completely hard. So actually I do want to take a look at that real quick, because I want to see how this is going to kind of play out. I actually want to go to the 5-minute chart. Yeah, so this is what happened with Apple toward the end of the day. It you know, it played around. It was just sideways, right, the entire day. You can kind of probably see position traders like getting in down here, thinking, you know, it's going to explode, and it exploded. And it did. It exploded really fast, and the next thing you know, it just went completely down and took anybody who had been buying throughout the day out. Or everybody who had been buying out the day got out and then, took their earnings. And then, to be honest, that was probably what most traders did, is they probably had a huge stash of Apple capital, probably sold almost all of it off, because then they're going to wait for the split and then buy it all back up, right? And that's probably what's going to happen. As you can see, we have a little bit, people buying in Apple over the weekend. So it looks like it's going to end up being right around the 500 mark whenever we open. It could do the same thing. It probably is going to end up going sideways most of the day. That one probably going to end up going sideways most of the day, I would expect. SPX probably anticipating that, so it's probably going to jump. Let's look at the hourly chart here with Nasdaq. I would expect, probably come up, and then I would expect quite a big pullback. And now the reason I have this drawn out here is because this is a big area that is an area of imbalance, right? So there's basically just all buying pressure through here. There was no selling pressure. So whenever that happens, there's gonna eventually it has to be filled with some kind of some selling pressure. So I'm gonna think it's gonna pull back probably to this support level here, which is probably going to be around 11,715, somewhere around in that area. So it looks like that was the previous support or previous resistance turned to support area. I would expect it to return to that area, because it's going to have to at least fill this imbalance, probably bounce off this and move upwards. But again, I probably would expect it to at least get up to this resistance before falling back down. But once we break that support, again, 4-hour close, I think, is what we're going to have to see, depending on how high it gets above here on a 4-hour close. If it's just above it on a 4-hour close, we could see it take off. But if this thing decides to grow way up past it on a 4-hour close, I would expect probably a good coming back to retest this support after it turns support anyway, and then move on. So that's what I got going on for the week. At least that's what I'm going to be looking for myself. And we'll see how it all plays out. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Contact me on TradingView if you want. Contact me on what's the other thing called that we all communicate with? Telegram. That thing too. I'm on there. I'll leave the information in the description, and we'll see how the week goes. So thanks for watching, everybody, and